Can you please get in the screen? Thank you. Hey, what's going on?
How
D.
you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's like this might be the second time. No, it's the first time we're doing this. First recording
Yeah,
for
man, I
today.
feel like this is deja vu in a way. I feel like
It,
we've been here before.
kind of, but a little bit different. I can't put my mind on it. Anyways, this is another episode of Running It Down. For those of you that weren't here 5 seconds ago, we were recording for 22 minutes and it cut out. So we are now recording a second time. So we appreciate you guys that are here for numero dos of this episode. But yeah, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. We had a bit of a technical difficulty, but we jumped back on it and we're gonna run it back. For the y'all that have seen this and don't want this recycled content, come back in like 15 minutes, boys. We got the freshest, hottest, newest, coldest, dopest shit in the world for you.
That's damn true. And you know what? For this second do over, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. You ready? You ready?
I'm waiting.
Skin giveaway.
Oh shit.
Skin giveaway. You have to be a subscriber. You have to comment on the video. I'm gonna pick one guy to win the damn skin giveaway. It can't. It do me a favor. Keep it under 1,300. I'm not doing this 1820 RP skin
Actually,
giveaway.
I'll donate in too. We'll do whatever skin in the game that you want. Also,
Wow.
you have to go to YouTube right now, hit sub, and like and comment. You have to comment in order to be entered. Okay?
Yep, and we'll pick it from the comments. We'll randomize it. We're not gonna like pick somebody we like. Maybe that person might win, but it's not
I
because
mean,
we
if
did
you're
that. We're
subbed to
gonna
Twitch, I might be a little biased. I'm
All
just
right,
saying.
don't plug your Twitch yet. Don't plug your Twitch yet. All right, so this is what we got today. We've got Demonte and Acadian in Dignitas Academy. We got some G2 news with Caps-Perkz doing the role swap. We got some small patch notes. TL is going to be on the shitter this month because they are having some visa issues.
Yep.
100 Thieves did some boot camp stuff. What else do we got? Set. We've got some what we think on LCS, how they're going to be successful at Worlds, all of this stuff, man. So we got a pretty good episode.
Yeah, we got some good stuff to get into. A bit of it should be fairly quick to get through. I want to talk a little bit more about certain aspects of like the NA teams and maybe the new champion, but it should be a pretty quick run through. So just bear with us. You want to get on this Demonte and Acadian ride?
I will get on Demonte and Katie now. I want to talk about that Garen that we played against like 2 days ago, though. What the hell was that?
Dude, why are you bringing up scars, bro?
Lethality Garen. No, he was on our team, dude. That's what hurts so much. We
But
fed
it's so retarded. We actually ran it down, and he 1v9, just full like crit lethality, press E, win the game. If he had a zillion, it'd be the perfect game.
yeah,
Like
seriously.
you just run into the team, press E, die, and then like GA or something, and
He
you still.
he would
So.
flash E into four of them. Like perfectly he would do this and literally kill them in 1.5 seconds. We were like, what the hell is this game? But namesake, running it down. We had to do our part and run it down that game.
That's right.
Like,
Hey, we're just trying to hold true.
you had to feed as a Heimerdinger, I think. I don't really remember. Anyways, all right. So I don't mean to blame you. It's both of us. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got two articles here, but I'm gonna just look at one. Obviously, Demonte and Acadian were kind of out of work after the 2019 season, and going into 2020, they're getting picked up by Dignitas, and that's going to be in the academy. What's really funny is Acadian was with Grig, who's the starting jungler for Dignitas, so.
Yep.
That'll be interesting. They're doing the same damn thing that they were doing on TSM, where they don't know which one's gonna. I mean, Dignitas could take a.
Bouncing.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I didn't follow Demonte last year, so I'm assuming.
Dude, it's Tanner time, baby.
Yeah.
It's Tanner time.
I
He's
don't.
good.
I don't know what that inside joke is. For those of you that are not new or new to the show. D is the LCS god here. He knows the LCS more than I do. We'll see how that plays out in our rankings as we go into the season and our standings, our pick standings. But yeah, man, that's. What do you think about this Dignitas Academy? I know we have a lot of thoughts about the academy scene in general, but what do you think about them?
Put Demonte on an LCS roster. Dude, The guy is too good. Not why is he? He's like 100 Thieves. You have Rayoma, right? Never seen him play. He seems to be all right over there, but you could have got homegrown talent in a. You don't take up a import slot. You got who else? You got Ika, however you say his name from Immortals. Why even bring him over? Why not just give an NA talent a shot on your team? It's not like he was asking for $1 billion. Evil geniuses. You have NA slots open. You could have traded him for a Jizuke. And in my opinion, Jizuke is not as good as Demonte, personally. Just saying, I don't know why this guy didn't get a starting spot. I don't know if maybe he's like a little bit egotistic, so people don't want to deal with that. He's kind of a younger cat. He's got a bit of hype after playing his first season on Clutch, and he did well. He made it to Worlds. So it's hard to tell exactly why, but there's no reason that he shouldn't have had a starting role. Still kind of tilts me.
Yeah,
Tanner
and
Tap.
he's coming over from Clutch Gaming. Sorry guys, I didn't have the article linked in our dashboard, but he's coming over from Clutch Gaming. I think I don't know his stats from last season, but obviously like one of their better players. So it should be we'll see. Why did he leave Clutch Gaming to begin with? Did he get let go?
Um, no, it's because Clutch Gaming got bought out.
Got it. Okay.
Clutch is no more. So I think it was Evil Geniuses, or no, it was Dignitas. Once Dignitas bought Clutch, they kind of just got rid of the whole roster and started a whole fresh roster.
Got it. Okay. That makes
So he
sense.
was a free agent.
We're going to be doing that all year. Like, okay, wait. Echo Fox was
Yeah,
bought
right.
out by who, and Evil Geniuses got who, and yeah, we're going to be
Yep.
doing that all season. So a little bit of LEC news here. We got G2 with the Caps-Perkz role swap. Now, this kind of came out on stream where I think I don't know who exactly did it, but there was like an idea where, hey, we're gonna like it was like a hint essentially, like Caps-Perkz are gonna swap, and everyone was like, hell no, like they just went to Worlds, like they went to finals, like there's no way they make this switch, and it ends up that they actually are. There's gonna be a bot and mid lane switch. What do you think?
I think honestly, I don't think it's a terrible idea. Perks, we saw him play mid for many, many years. We know he can do it. We've seen Caps play different AD carries, whether it was winning, they were doing the funnel meta with like Broxa or not Broxa, Jankos playing like Braum with like Caps playing fucking Vayne.
Yeah,
He could play whatever. It's one of those things where it's so surprising because he's always been like his nickname is Baby Faker, bro. Like you got to be damn good. So it's so surprising to see him actually give up the whole mid lane just to go bot. And it's one of those things where everybody was like, okay, G2's memeing again. Haha, good one, boys. And then it's like, nope, official. They're role swapped. It's like, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, and it says in the article that as soon as Caps doesn't want to play ADC anymore, Perk said that he will immediately switch back to the bottom lane. I don't like the continuity play here. Like you should be playing the lane that if you're gonna eventually switch, then why even switch to begin with? Like if you already have that in mind, like oh once this guy wants to switch, I'll switch back. It's like maybe to keep you fresh, like if they're getting bored of what they're doing in each lane, but I don't know. I'm making excuses at this point. I just think that the continuity should be there. I don't really see a reason for it, but that's just me.
I agree with you. There's no real reason or rhyme, but I think it's one of those things of they got all the way to World Finals and then got 3-0'd and shit stomped. So it's like one of those things of like, well, why we're playing domestically when we know we can stomp our whole league, why not give it a shot and see
Yeah.
how it works? Before we go onto the world stage and have another blunder or before we have to take it seriously, let's do this and try it out before it matters. One of those things that it can't hurt. What are you going to do? Have to play through the playoffs as a second seed just because you trolled the first half of the split? I mean, it ain't going to hurt them.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about before the episode was the competitiveness of LEC in general and the LEC players that are moving over to LCS, things like that. So, it'll be interesting to see, how the parity in the LEC, plays into that. Because I feel like if they had more parity in that league, they wouldn't be thinking like, oh, we can shit stomp the rest of the league, so why don't we just make this switch anyways? So we'll see. We've got some patch notes here. This is 9.24b. So obviously the patch notes came out about, I would say, 3 weeks ago. That was kind of our first episode. We covered it, but there is a little bit of patch notes to get to here. Let's run through it. So we've got a little bit to Alistar, but some decreases for Aphelios. We've got Mark damage ratio decreased, his R damage ratio and explosion radius decreased. I think Garen got his damage increased. Gnar, they're saying they want to see him in pro play, so that Q damage ratio got increased. Heimer got a little bit of a nerf. These are all really small nerfs. I think the more important one is the Elder Dragon in Drake's, right?
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. I'm still waiting for the execute to be removed from the game, honestly. I don't think it's
Yeah,
gonna be a thing in Pro League, but we'll get to that.
yeah. It looks like they just nerfed the duration and burn damage. They didn't nerf execute, and you were like the first time we saw execute, you were like, "There's no way this makes it into pros." So
There's no way. I mean, it's like you do that, right? And you got like a team that's doing okay against a team that's like kind of trying to come back, and then they get the Elder Dragon. It's over. It's
yeah,
over. Like
yeah.
that's GG. You might as well go next. There's no point in even playing the rest of the game out. And
Is
like, how are you gonna live?
is it a third execute or a fourth? Third of health or fourth of health?
It's like 20%.
20%. Okay, so a fifth of your health. Okay, yeah. I mean, it seems like a fifth wouldn't really matter until you're that ADC getting bursted by like a mid laner and literally you just pop. Like where normally you might have survived, it's like
With like 200 HP, you might have got away with like flash, but nobody like pink dead.
and it seems like more than a fifth to be honest when you're playing. So
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, I've got some. We're using League of Graphs. We're using like infographics here, but post 9.24, it looks like Yumi's win rate increased. We talked about like kind of the reasoning behind that. Maybe like the player base falling off after that quote unquote nerf or I guess quote unquote buff. But yeah, we have Rammus, Rengar, Senna. Looks like she got nerfed a little bit, obviously. So her percentage is down, as well as Garen. I don't really understand Garen being low on the win rate, but that is what it is.
I'm telling you, man, because everybody saw that how strong he is, so now every bronze and iron player is like, I'm gonna play Garen all the way to silver, boys, and it's just not working, bro. You gotta win lane.
Yeah, that is like everybody's first champion. But anyways, we'll get into LCS here. We got a ton of news like per team, but we do want to talk about kind of LCS as we see it rolling into Worlds. But one thing that we want to do on these podcast episodes is talk about what you guys want to hear about. So if it's not LCS, if you don't want us to devote so much time to LCS, let us know what leagues you want us to cover, and we'll do our best to cover that. Like if you want LCK, let us know. If you want LEC, please let us know. But for the most part, we're gonna try to stay within LCS and venture out here and there, but really just cover the domestic league for the most part. So the first team, for some reason, is going to be TL. I don't know why we keep them up there every week, but go ahead.
I wonder why. Team Liquid, we're going to go bad and then good. Bad stuff we talked about a little bit beforehand. We have a Twitter post from Steve talking about Kane, Broxa, and Schernfire all having visa issues, and they might not even make the beginning of the season. And that means none of them got to practice together seriously. Like, there's no team practice at the Alienware training facility. Kane's not there coaching. Broxa and Schernfire are both their jungles, so now it's like, okay, well, I guess Pobelter came in as a coach at the right time, huh? He might even have to go jungle. What are we going to do about that?
So, yeah, Pobelter can go full-time. He can go right into the head coach role, or he can go into the jungle role, or maybe who's the mid laner for TL right now?
Jensen.
And you wouldn't put Jensen in the jungle. I don't know what they'll do. Honestly, they'll
That's
probably
true.
bring in a ringer.
They're probably going to pull someone from their academy team to fill until they get here.
Yeah, I would probably say that. Well, I thought Schernfire was the academy jungler.
I'm not sure. I thought he was just a sub, but even if he might be the academy jungle. You might be right. And then I don't know. Hey, Team Liquid.
What's the prediction? What do you
Hit
think
me up.
they'll do? What do you think they'll do? If
I
you had
think
to
they'll
put money
probably
on
just sign someone for like a short contract or sign him and then put him on the back burner after he gets here just to fill the void. Because even he said that they're evaluating backup options should they be required. So they're already looking into probably looking for anybody that was left over or a good academy buyout or something just to grab them real quick for the meantime and maybe do like another trade later on to give them back to the team or whatnot. Personally, that's what I think will happen. I don't think they're going to be like, oh, we're going to do a scouting day and bring your best A game boys. I mean,
I'm on my way. I'm
Yeah.
on my way. In the meantime, they're gonna have to deal with, like you said, not having a coach. They're gonna have to do scrims and in practice mobily. So they're gonna have like
Yeah.
some players over here, some players over there, or they'll have to fly their team out to wherever Broxa and
Yeah,
wherever
right.
these guys are. So
They're
that
going to
might not be
EU,
a bad.
boys.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. TL is going to EU for this upcoming split. So you also had TL wins best org, but we couldn't find the link last
Yeah,
time.
they
But
won the best org from the esports awards, like the
okay,
2019 esports awards, and I'm not. It didn't even say who it was hosted by. There's probably something out there saying I couldn't find it, so I just know they won. Hey, good job, Team Liquid, all across the board, every game.
yeah. All right, we'll see. We'll see about that in 2020. But no, they'll be super strong in 2020 and probably competing for that same title again. But I had 100 Thieves. Obviously, Dalton is a Team Liquid fan by his jersey, as you can tell. I don't have a jersey. I want to get one, but I am a 100 Thieves fan. We completed a boot camp in Copenhagen. It looked pretty cool. Obviously, 100 Thieves does a good job with like putting out video content, so you got to see behind the scenes. They were at Attilis is the game the organization. They have a CS:GO, pretty competitive CS:GO team. So they were able to 100 Thieves was able to get over there. They had their whole new team there. Ryoma was there, Stunt, Cody's son, Medias, the whole squad was there.
Yep.
With also with Papa Smithy, the GM. So kind of some team bonding time. Ryoma looked like he was getting along super well for being a new. I mean, I guess almost all of them are new, besides Someday and Stunt. But as far as like the whole roster together, Ryoma seemed like he had a strong voice. Obviously, Someday's not talking at all like the entire video, but Ryoma was looking like he was fitting in well. So you like to see that.
Yep, it's nice to see, especially like that's what I think a lot of the problems was last season. They had so much like I feel like team animosity in the background that we didn't get to see with Afromu and like Ryu going in and Huhi and all this other stuff. It's just there was so much stuff that maybe we didn't get to see that was going on, and it's good to see him actually take time to try to get the team cohesion or like friendship rather than
Yeah,
gameplay.
yeah. I actually am blanking like super hard, and again, I'm not like. I really by the mid-season I'm gonna be like the biggest damn LCS fan of all time. But Papa Smithy is the GM, not the coach. So I'm wondering where the coach is in all this. Like, have we even signed a coach? Because although he's a GM, like I think a lot of the animosity that resulted last season had a lot to do with Prawley being the coach. I don't think he handled the room well. I think Afromu had like too much of a voice within like the entire squad, and probably maybe didn't have as strong a voice. So it's good to see Papa Smithy taking charge. But who the hell is our head coach?
Looks like here you guys actually got Zix from TSM.
Okay, and but
So
my question is like, where the hell is he? He might have been in the video. I just don't know his face. So yeah,
I'm not sure if he was there with them. I see Zix and Papa Smithy in a couple of videos with each other. So it seems like they're at least getting along. I mean, everybody from TSM always said they like Zix, so I don't think he'll fit in, honestly. But it'll be interesting to see the integration of him
yeah,
from
yeah.
uh, like the playstyle and like the way that TSM has been ran compared to how 100 Thieves is more chillax and like content based.
Yeah, yeah, definitely more streamer based for sure. So that's 100 Thieves. I know you wanted to talk about Ryoma here for a second and his gameplay statistics and kind of his history. So you want to get into that?
Yeah, I'll bring it up. We got Ryoma coming in from the OCS, which is I guess the Oceanic Championship Series, and the OPL League. He looks like he's been in since 2016 playing in a semi-pro or a pro league, so he's got a bit of experience. I mean, from 2016 to now, I mean, by then you're pretty much an old man, need to retire, right? But he looks like he's been to Rift Rivals a couple of times, MSI, so he's got like big game experience. It's not like he's gonna crash on stage and burn.
Mm.
Um, so I think he's a good addition compared to maybe it's a fresh face that has more energy than like Ryu looking on stage like he just looks like he wants to die every
Hey,
play.
don't
Like
slander Ryu, man. He played well. He
they get a
played
pentakill and Ryu's like,
well.
It's
You're
like,
so
bruh,
right, dude.
yeah, get
You're
a little bit
literally.
of hype.
we
Like,
needed some of that calmness. All right, we don't need the hype. The hype was coming from amazing, I think. But so we got some Cloud9. You basically, I mean, you've got some players that you go through that are brand new, essentially players we haven't seen in the LCS. We just kind of like want to see
yeah.
what they've done in the past. So let's go through. Let's do like a lightning round through these.
All right, so we got Kabe coming from Splice going to TSM. I would talk about Sven going to Cloud9, but we all seen how shit he was last season, so we're just gonna fly by that. Um, by the way, when he made that joke about how small Jensen was,
Oh
that
yeah, I
worked out
remember that.
for you,
And
didn't it?
Jensen, yeah,
Yeah. But
Jensen actually,
anyway,
Jensen killed it that game too, dude. That series,
yeah,
yeah.
clapback. But let's get into Kabe. He's coming over, like I said, from Splice to TSM. So they traded one EU bot lane for another EU bot lane, or AD carry, I should say. I actually think Kabe's way better than Sven, so it's an upgrade to me. Um, I've watched him a bunch of times, and he's always been like the third place AD carry over in Europe, in my opinion. He's always been like right there behind Reckless and Perks, you know. So I feel like he's going to bring at least a little bit of competition to the league. Maybe give Double Lift a run for his money, hopefully. And
Mm.
he's got Biofrost down there as his support, so you can never go wrong there. Maybe that's a new duo. We'll see if they can put up a fight against Double Lift Core JJ lane. We'll see. But I think it's a really good addition to our league. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see all these LEC players come over and see if they can make a. I know they've been coming over for a little while now, but I think all the credit goes to like LCK players and all the Chinese and Korean players. So it'll be interesting to see where
Yeah,
these European players can make their mark.
yeah. And we have Dignitas with Johnson coming on. Um, but we're not really going to get into that because he apparently only played 4 Academy games. So there's not really much to talk about. We'll have to see how he plays.
And you were saying this is based on the fact that they spent all this money on Hooney, so they basically had to pay peanuts to anybody. So
Yeah,
Johnson, I guess, came in and said, "Hey, I'll do it," even though he's
yeah,
0 for 4 in his only professional play. I
yeah. I
was
mean, maybe he had a bunch of challenger games, or maybe he played like with the other players. I'm not sure. I think they were just in a pinch and had to pick somebody up because they got Hooney, Greg, Froggen, Johnson, and Afro. We know that it was confirmed they paid like upwards of 3 mil for Hooney, so I'm assuming the budget for buying players was already like yoink
yeah,
gone. So
and Afro didn't have a strong year, so it's like this
yeah,
actually could be a complete disaster if you think about it. Like if this goes wrong, it could be a complete disaster in the bot lane, bro. But if it goes right and they hold their own,
yeah,
yeah, we'll see.
we'll see. I'd definitely be watching them just to see because I've always liked Afro anyway. So it's nice to see if he can help Johnson get better. You know, educate him. He's been down in the bot lane for so long that maybe he can coach the kid and help him out and get him on the other players' levels as far as the LCS goes. It's not very high, obviously. We see that at Worlds. So moving on from him, we'll get to Ika, I guess Ika. We're gonna try not to say that too many times because don't know how to pronounce it. He's a new guy on
Immortals,
Immortals,
yeah,
and it seems to me like he's been in some sort of Challenger League or EU LCS since around 2015, 2016. Um,
yeah. He was in
eh,
the France league as well. I think for the
yeah,
last couple
France.
2 years.
Yeah, for the last like 2 years, or last year he was in France, it seems. Um, Not really much to talk about for him. I'm kind of excited to see if he is gonna prove himself because Demonte was still available when they signed this guy. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea, honestly. I think they're gonna get shit stomped, if we're being honest. Smithy's the only one that I'm excited about for Immortals. I like
Yeah,
Hakuo's Thresh, but other than that, it's not really that strong of a roster. We're looking at it, and comparing to like TSM or like um, TL or even Cloud9 with that roster is gonna be nuts. Like I don't their roster. I don't maybe it's a build session where they play the first couple of splits and kind of work and build that up, but we'll see how it plays out. Not really that excited to see it, to be honest.
gotcha. Okay, well let's fly through Kumo and FBI. Evil Geniuses has one of the better rosters I think like that I've seen put together out of kind of scratch.
Yeah,
I know based on their roster. Let me get it here. Kumos, Svenskeren, and Jizuke, Bang, and Zazel. This is like one of the best kind of free agent rosters that I've seen. So, what do you want to say about Kumo?
Especially since they just banged this roster together, like brand new org back in the league. Well, they were here before, but like they're brand new as far as franchising goes. So to come in and put together a roster with these names on it and bring over Jizuke from Europe and be able to put this together so quickly with like, I mean, maybe it doesn't work, maybe they don't like each other, maybe the team just falls apart, but to be able to see it, it looks good on paper, and we'll see if it transfers over into gameplay, right? But
Dude, and we haven't talked about this, but Kumo looks like he's a one-trick poppy.
yeah, it seems like he does like himself some Poppy.
Literally
Um,
2 times the next amount,
yeah,
which is Aatrox and then Gangplank Cho'Gath.
yeah,
He does play a little bit of Gnar, which I'm sure based on the buffs that just happened, maybe we see him play a little bit more Gnar. But this guy
definitely.
loves Poppy. Goddamn.
Yeah, 81% win rate, can't hate that. 2.1 KDA,
Yeah, not
not
bad
bad.
at all. Not bad at all. All right, so we'll hit
Seems like he's
FBI.
always been a academy team too, so this looks like it'll be his first LCS start. I guess he played 4 games in 2019 as a fill, but he
Hmm.
didn't never really get the starting position. I think that was when Licorice was out or something for Cloud9.
Gotcha.
FBI Golden Guardians. So Golden Guardians they changed their basically mid laner and jungle,
Also
but
changed their logo. By the way, did you see that?
oh, I
They had like
didn't.
a whole rebrand.
Did they?
Yeah,
Holy moly!
it's like one of the. I mean, it's not a big deal, but anyways.
I have to bring that up.
And I just interrupted, so go ahead and finish your FBI.
I know you're fine. FBI. We played like last season too. I think he played like a couple of games for Phil.
Yeah,
Um,
played 11 games last season. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think he's anything. Where did he come from? OPL, yeah. I think it's one of those things where you got players in the league already that are so well known and so proven that unless he comes in and just demolishes like Kabe down there or something, he pops off and he shits on like the likes of like Sven or Doublelift, and then you'll be like, okay, maybe this guy's someone to actually watch. But as far as what we saw last season from the games he did play, it was never like holy crap, this guy's WRX or something popping off going ham. So we'll see how he goes. Um, it's always good to see new faces come in. So we'll see if he can prove himself and not get kicked out with next year. Maybe he'll stick around.
Yeah, well, yeah, FBI. I mean, I think he played a little bit last season. Obviously, Golden Guardians kind of underachieved, but we'll see how they do in the coming seasons. But that's pretty much a wrap for LCS. I mean, the last thing we need to get to is kind of this overarching question of how does NA get to perform better at Worlds? How as a whole, as a region, not just the professional players, but the academy players, but even regular players like you and myself. Like, how do we as a region get to be at the level of an LEC or an LPL or LCK? And Crumbs, the announcer Crumbs, he actually did an interview with, I believe, Inven Global, and a lot of good insights here. And I'm going to link it in the description of this video. So if you guys want to look at the whole interview, you can check that out. But so he basically had 3 main points, and a lot of this again revolved around how does NA get better. And the main issue that he had with NA was that we don't have a lot of grassroots tournaments. And I kind of want to hear what you have to think of on that, because you've been following the LCS for a little while in the professional game. But if you're not a LCS professional, if you're not even an academy player, even academy players struggle with this. You can't make a living playing League. And the
Yeah.
point that he was making was that there's so many other grassroots tournaments that have prize pools in these other areas, like specifically LCK and in China as well, that you can actually make a living, not a good living, but make a living playing League in these other areas
It's
because of
worth
the
it
grassroots.
to do it.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think like what you said before, about the Tyler. You said he mentioned something about the Tyler One Championship Series. Is like that's the kind of thing that needs to happen. Like there's got to be more than just Tyler in the pursuit of having an outsource that's not LCS, you know? Like I know there's online tournaments you can enter in, but then you have to like pay, you have to get a team together, you got to do all this stuff to get your own thing set up. Whereas if you had a little team, you could go to like say you have a tournament in each state or something, like if somebody holds it at a little venue or something. That's the type of stuff that people like me that are never gonna make it to pro, I'm too old, and it's just something to do where it's super fun. You get to live that playing on stage idea out. And for the kids that are coming up, you're 16, 17, you go to that and you get that kind of feel, and that just drives your hunger to go try even harder and grind and grind and grind and grind to do it. So it's like the perfect idea. It's just who's gonna do it?
Yeah.
Where's that gonna come from?
And you hit it the nail on the head, because his next point was that it needs to come from these streamers, because you do have that feedback loop of revenue where you could put it into a tournament like this, and then that feeds back into your own
True.
popularity, your reputation. So let me take a point from the article here. It says, and this is Crumbs. He says the solution is going back to how NA talent came about in the first place, which is just grassroots tournaments. I think there aren't enough things that people can play for, and this year I got a chance to work in literally almost every minor tournament that is not LCS. I cast the entire Academy League. I cast the entire Collegiate League, Scouting Grounds. I did the Red Bull International tournaments. I did minor league tournaments for Super League Gaming. And what he said was, I got to see a lot of the actual underlying system, and the reality is that a lot of the players don't have any incentive to become a pro player, because there's no financial gain unless you get into LCS and Academy. So his like you just pointed out, Tyler, one great example. You have a streamer that's making a ton of money, feedbacks into the system, makes NA better. So
Well, like the team that even won it this year, it was like a first time at the tournament type of thing, and they beat the guys that were been there like 4 times, so it's all hype, and then everybody's watching the stream, and it's entertaining, and the people that are actually playing for the money are getting that shine, and people that would have never even known who they are now seeing them. So maybe an LCS team sees them that play in like 2 years or a year from now, and then they call that guy up like, "Hey, we saw you da 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 da." So it's all exposure, if anything. Just because how else like you're gonna play in Challenger and you're like, "Oh, well, I'm ranked 3 for like 6 months and no one gives a shit."
that
Like half. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no. I mean, you're touching on the same exact point that he touched on next. Like I feel like you're having this, and you didn't even I don't think read the article in full. This
I
was
haven't.
kind of
Yeah.
this was an article that I put on the dashboard. So for you guys to be saying the same thing, and the point being that he was saying that the Academy League is not being utilized the way it should. It should be used in the sense that an Academy League player should be going up against an LCS player. Like, so basically what he was saying was the Academy League should be strictly competition between 100 Thieves Academy and 100 Thieves. Like, the only goal the 100 Thieves Academy should have is beating the 100 Thieves LCS team. And he basically made that point based on saying that the LCS Academy kind of failed this year. Like, there wasn't, you're not having many people watch the games. There's not a lot of revenue in it. Like, where do you go? It reminds me of, in sports, it reminds me of the feeder leagues for football. So you had like,
Yeah.
I remember you had European football. I forgot what it was called. But all of the feeder leagues for the football have died off because
Yeah.
there's
No
no,
more.
there's no financial incentive. So it's like, what do you do with these academy players? And it's an interesting question.
I don't think they're gonna be getting rid of it anytime soon. As far as Academy goes, I think they could restructure it or make it a lot more interesting. Cause like, do you really like, as an LCS fan or a Pro League fan, I've never been like AFK, like, oh, I think it'll be fun to watch this Academy
Yeah.
game. Like, it's just not as exciting to watch because there's no, like, they don't win the split and to become an LCS team. It's not like, oh shit, these guys are gonna be in the LCS
Mm.
next year if they pop off and win, and then they got to beat Team Liquid to get in or something crazy. That would be hype as fuck. That'd be everybody would pay to see that. What do you mean?
You're on to something, dude. And I love watching English Premier League, and that's the way they do it. And I'm sure a lot of our friends that are watching in other countries that primarily watch soccer or football or however you say, but they have a relegation and promotion, and
Yeah,
that should 100% be.
that's how LCS was before they went to their franchising. It was they had a relegations. They had to actually fight for their spot to stay in the league. It wasn't just, oh, I have the money so I can stay.
Yep, and that
You know?
and that's where I guess there you talked about that one hurdle, which is going to be these teams paid 20 mil franchise fees. They're not just going to get kicked out next year like that.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that, man. But that is the way of the future. There should be a way for these teams. Like, you're not going to develop talent if the environment to develop that talent is non-existent. Like the academy, like you said, sucks. So like, I guess, I don't know. It could be utilized a little bit better, I think, is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
yeah. I mean, check out that Crumbs interview. I'll have it linked in the description post video. I know I don't have it now, but I'll link it. Other than that, we have a Sett spotlight, and that's pretty much going to be the whole episode, man. So you take us away.
All right. So after the Crumbs interview, we got the Sett spotlight, and I want to take a second to let you guys know that he's gonna be fucking permabanned. Don't act like you're gonna get to play him, kids. Okay? He is broken. We've seen it in stream. We've seen it in PBE. We've seen it all the way across all these different like champion spotlights and gameplay like videos. He's ridiculous. Like he's like Garen and Vi had a baby. Like what? Like that's like he grabs you, throws you, flings you over a wall, and then like he just bruises you and then punching you, left, right, and it's like, okay, dude, I get it. He's badass. He's got skins already. I think it's gonna be a skin gimmick. Personally, call me a skeptic or whatever, but I think it's gonna be. He comes out, he's retarded. Everybody buys a skin. 2 weeks later, hot fix to the ground. Later, I think it's gonna be hella nerfed.
I just from watching him in PBE. I liked the next generation graphics they're using, where you're like picking up the champion and dropping him into the other champion. Like that's next generation graphics, I think, and you like design and interface that I hope that, and I know that will happen with oncoming heroes, and maybe they'll even start reworking other champions to have more of these really, really cool graphics that you get when you're using Sett.
Yeah, I watched that whole video. We could put this one down there below as well. It shows his R. You can like take people over the walls too. So that's like an insane mechanic.
I'm watching it now.
You can pull someone out over like the Baron pit and like knock them away from like, say Sett goes to Baron, you could take the enemy jungle out of the Baron pit by throwing them over the wall with you, and then you guys could steal. Like it's so many things you could do with that. And the video said he can get over like most every wall in the game. It's like, okay, dude, what?
I see it. I'm looking at it now. Actually, he's like putting somebody into the Rift Herald and taking them out like 5 seconds later. Damn. So is he? So he's gonna be a top laner. Do you see him? I mean, I guess we don't.
I think he's gonna be a jungle top.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Is he gonna be in the jungle as well? Okay.
I think he'll be nuts in the jungle just because of his AOE damages on his abilities. So he'll have good clear. He's obviously once he hits 60, gonna have a hell of a gank potential. Like. Good CCs, good damage, and he's gonna be a bruiser, so it'll be easy enough to be able to like contest against most of the meta jungles right now.
Yeah,
I think he'll be good against them because they're all kind of bruisey anyway, and I think it'll be interesting. But I think he's gonna be hella nerfed.
Yeah, I think they already show him like in the jungle too. But I mean, it's a fair point. Like Riot's making money off creating these champions, making them super strong at first, and getting people to buy into them. So. Why stop when you're making all that money? So I agree with that. So
that's why I always give a champion like 3 months before I buy a skin for it.
That's fair.
You gotta make sure it's not gonna get burned.
You gotta bury that money in the back until 3 months come around. Yeah. So yeah. I mean that's that will be interesting to see. I don't think we've had any knowledge on like any champions past Sett. I know we had like 2 back-to-back. We had Aphelios and Sett like instantly happen, so I don't think we'll see a champion release for a little while. Obviously Sett hasn't even hit the public servers yet, so yeah, man, I think we're just excited for the season to start. Like once the season starts to come around, even a week or 2 out, we'll start to have more news to talk about and things like that. So until then, we'll be grinding on the NA servers trying to get to Diamond.
Yeah, Diamond next season, boys. Easy as fuck.
Who are you using? Who are you abusing? You said so you're playing jungle.
We're bringing Silas back into the meta, boys. He sucks, but we're gonna do it. I want the champion back in meta, and I'm gonna single-handedly make it happen for North America.
I'm
ain't
doing it for
scared.
I'm doing that shit for Tom Kench. I'm putting Tom Kench on my back. You know who you're talking to. You know who
Top 50?
I'm top 50 Tom Kench NA. If you need a support and Tom Kench doesn't get banned, I'm your support, man. That's how this works.
There's only 53 that play.
Hey, I'm still top 50. I can still say it.
True. It doesn't matter what.
We said that same thing about Aurelian Soul too. I was like, I'm top 300 Aurelian Soul. Oh shit, only 1,000 people play this motherfucker. But
True.
yeah, man. So you're gonna abuse Silas, abuse a little bit of. I'm sure you'll have Mumu in those ranks.
Mommy, yeah.
You when we first met, I think you were like super playing Jarvan. Like I just remember you
Mummy
playing J4 a lot.
Only two I played back then, because they're bruiser, tank, engage, and nobody wanted to play a tank, nobody wanted to play an engage, so I just did it both.
All right. Been a while since then, and I'm glad we've got to play the games we've played and started this podcast. And if you guys enjoy and raged a couple times, I'm sure we've hung up on each other multiple times since then. Yep. But yeah, man. If again, guys, thanks for tuning along. This is the second episode, so each episode we're gonna try to get better.
Yep.
Do you got anything before we outro here?
Nah, man. I do want to remind you that you said you were doing a skin giveaway for the people that stuck around.
Did I say that?
So we don't fuck around and forget. So let's not be liars here. And if no one comments, I can save my money and I'll buy myself a one.
True. Yeah, please actually don't comment. Please comment. We'll hit you up with that skin. One skin. It's not like me and D are both giving away one. We'll between us two, we'll randomly give a commenter. So yeah, guys, please do that, man. Please do that.
Yep. Other than that, we appreciate you guys stopping by. It means a lot. Thank you. Tell your friends about us and check us out next week. All right.
Thanks,
Later.
guys.